Hello everyone, welcome to Rubber Industry NewsHour. Saudi Krap, Namaskar. Welcome you all to this today's episode of Rubber Industry NewsHour. This is a weekly program for rubber industry on every Monday, organized by Technobase. Today we are into the episode number 28. The date is 25th July. Welcome you all for this episode. In this episode, we have two main highlights. One is the natural rubber market outlook by Mr. Jom Jacob. Then we have a special program, Latex industry conversation. In this conversation, we have conversation on the latex industry opportunities and challenges with Mr. Anis Karya. He is a well-experienced and well-respected latex technologist with more than 30 plus years experience. We'll be discussing with him what are the challenges and opportunities in the latex industry. These are the two main activities and or main components of today's episode. I welcome you all. As you know, this program is managed and owned by Technobase, and you can always find more information about Technobase at technobase.org. Technobase is a specialist in offering the services for the rubber industries with professional education and business services. One of the key service we offer is the online training program, rubber industry online training program through the NewsHour webinars. I would like to show you a short presentation on our educational programs online. You may be interested to learn about it, and you may download the file in the handout section of this panel. Okay, that's about the rubber industry online training program. You can always check our website, knowhow-webinars.com. We are the specialized company offering the online education for the rubber industry professionals. Very specialized, very updated, relevant with well experienced industry professionals as a trainers for these programs. There are membership opportunities also available to take a benefit of this program. Okay, now natural rubber market outlook by Mr. Jim Jacob. Let me brief you about Mr. Jim Jacob. He's been in the rubber industry for more than 30 years as a rubber industry analyst with extensive experience in analyzing the rubber market, forecasting industry trends, and formulating long-term policies and development plans for the natural rubber sector. He served the Association of Natural Rubber Producing Countries, ANRPC, at Kuala Lumpur as its senior economist for 11 years. Before that, he was with the Rubber Board of India by holding various positions for 23 years. So we have Mr. John Jacob be sharing the current natural rubber market outlook.
Hi everyone, welcome to Natural Rubber Market Outlook. This is episode number 27. Let us have a brief look into the performance of the rubber futures, natural rubber futures, both in the futures as well as physical markets during the previous week. So we will review the futures markets first. In the three Asian rubber futures, natural rubber prices fell during last week. In the case of Shanghai futures, the most active contracts expiring September fell by 3.7% during last week. I mean, the average during the last week was 3.7% compared to a week before. At Psycho, the most active TSR20 contracts expiring October fell 1.1% last week. Means the average during last week was 1.1% lower compared to a week before. At JPS Osaka, RSS3 December contracts averaged 2.5% lower last week compared to the week before. When we look into the physical markets, STR20 Bangkok averaged 1.2% lower last week compared to the week before. SMR20 Kuala Lumpur averaged 0.1% lower. RSS3 Bangkok market averaged 3.1% lower. RSS4 Kottayam markets averaged 1.6% lower. Latex markets at Bangkok FOB averaged 1.7% lower compared to a week before. Latex markets Kuala Lumpur averaged 0.2% higher, means there is not much change, 0.2% higher during last week compared to a week before. This is a summary of the market performance during last week. In fact, the prices have been on a falling trend in all the market, both physical as well as futures, over the last 3 weeks. And last week we have seen prices continuing the downtrends without any indication of a trend reversal. So what were the factors behind the continued fall in rubber prices. These were the factors we had discussed earlier. We will briefly point out once again what were the factors which were dominating the market sentiments. So in fact, actually, the last week, that means July week ended July 23, market sentiments remain under grip of. I use the word remain because this was a situation, not anything new in the last week. This was the situation continuing over the past 3 or 4 weeks. We had a number of factors keeping sentiments down. First of all, the concerns over an imminent global economic recession. A global economic recession means demand outlook would be lower once the economy is taking a recession path. So the demand outlook was impacted by the imminent global economic recession. Another factor was the resurgence of COVID cases in China that in fact effectively puts roughly 20% or 1/5 of China's population under either a full or a partial lockdown. China is representing 42% of the global demand for natural rubber. So whatever happening in China, very crucial for the rubber demand outlook particular. Then geopolitical uncertainty largely arising from the Russian invasion of Ukraine. That was another factor keeping sentiment down. Then overheated inflation. Overheated inflation means investments on return on investment will be less attractive once the inflation rate is very high. Means the working capital is more expensive if the inflation is very high. Again, interest rate hike by central banks across countries and anticipated further rate hike by central banks across countries. So higher interest rate, again, that means return on investments will be less attractive because working capital is more expensive. Another factor is the continued appreciation of the US dollar. US dollar was continuing along an appreciating path largely due to the bet on further aggressive rate hike by the Federal Reserve in its forthcoming policy meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee, which is scheduled to be held next week. So these were the factors keeping sentiment down. These factors were not specific to rubber alone. These factors were, in fact, actually applicable to equity markets and the commodity markets, other commodities as well. In fact, all these development happening, whatever happening in the equities and other commodities were manifested in the natural rubber futures as well as physical market. This was what happened in the market during last week. But we should not ignore that there was an important positive developments in the midst of all these unfavorable factors. We had a positive development means global shipping logistic costs sharply came down. Came down means after a substantial jump over the last 2 years, shipping cost is now coming down, especially shipping cost from Asia to Europe and Asia to US. Rates are sharply coming down. So that means shipping logistic cost is coming down is a positive factor, especially manufacturing costs as well as logistics costs coming down means it's a good news for the manufacturing activities and trade activities world over. So taking all this together, we can say that rubber prices have been on a declining path, and the downtrend has been driven by the factors we have mentioned earlier. And these factors were not specific to natural rubber alone, and these factors were common to entire equity markets as well as entire commodities, and the natural rubber was manifesting the development going on in other sectors world over. Now, let us see what we can expect in the week ahead. What we can expect in the week ahead, we have one side summarizing the key points. We have good news. A rebound in rubber prices can be expected this week. We are expecting a rebound in rubber prices during this week. Why? We have at least 4 factors to support such a positive outlook. Number one, global. So one major factor was keeping sentiment down was the fear of global economic recession. But according to the most recent statements by none other than U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen, the global economic recession fear is fading. According to U.S. Secretary General, U.S. Treasury Secretary's statements, U.S. economy need not fall into a recession. In fact, the U.S. Treasury Secretary used another terminology. A recession is not inevitable. So recession means there should be 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. Technically, then only we say it is a recession. We had US had in the Q1 first quarter, that means January to March quarter, US economy fell by 1.6%, means a contraction of 1.6%. And according to the latest Reuters poll, US economy will be in the positive territory in the second quarter. That means April to June quarter, it will not be negative. It will be in the positive territory. Even though the number is not so high, it will be less than 1%. So according to the Reuters poll, it will be around 0.4%, but still it is positive. Positive means we had negative growth in the first quarter. Only if the 2 consecutive quarters are posting negative growth, we can call it as a recession according to technical definition. So that means if the second quarter growth, which is expected to be released this week Thursday, if it is positive, that will be a big positive news. A major positive news to the entire equity market means there is no recession. It's a big news going to positively impacts equity markets and commodities world over. So all the companies, corporates, and all sectors will be revising up the forecast for this year. A major news we can expect. So supporting such a view, the US jobs creation data, which was released last Friday, that remains robust in June. In June, US created 372,000 additional jobs during June. So not only this June figure, this is a 4th straight month of jobs gain in excess of 350,000 in the US. So it means the US jobs market is continually expanding in a significant way. Every month, more than 350,000 additional jobs creation. And this is continuing. So what we have seen in June is the 4th consecutive month. So it's a positive news to the market. So this job data is supporting the view that the second quarter GDP would be in the positive territory. It will not be negative. If it is not negative, there is no recession at all. It's a major news. So let us wait until Thursday how the second quarter, will it be negative or positive? We are not bothered about the number. We are not bothered about whether it is positive or negative. If it is positive, it will be a major news. So Thursday will be a very important day for the world rubber market, as well as commodity market, as well as equity market. Thursday data will be very crucial. Second factor, Ukraine and Russia last Friday, they signed landmark deals before the UN Secretary General for safe transportation of grains and foodstuffs from Ukraine ports. So the deal separately signed by the 2 countries at Istanbul can significantly relieve the global food crisis and help in cooling the overheated global inflation. So at the moment, one major factor which are impacting or which are causing concern to all the economies was the soaring food prices, and there was a food crisis was anticipated in the coming year. So due to the signing of the deal of the signing of the deal by the two countries, even though it was not signed together, it was separately signed by the two countries before the UN Secretary General. That means the wheat prices and also prices of other food grains will cool down, and that can significantly contribute to the global inflation. So one major factor hindering or impacting on the global economy was the global soaring or overheated inflation. So if food inflation is cooling down, that can ease the global inflation fear. This is another major news. So third news is as I mentioned before, this is the coming down. Third news is the falling ocean freight costs that also significantly contribute to manufacturing costs or the production costs, manufacturing costs, as well as the that also contribute to the trade. So that means another factor which can have a positive impact on the global economic recovery. Then we have another fourth factor which is specific to rubber market. So in Indonesia is the second largest producer of natural rubber, contributing nearly 27% of the global supply. In Indonesia, due to two reasons, supply from Indonesia will be considerably lower. One, in Indonesia, around 70% of the supply is coming from the south of the equator. So for the south, that particular region, it is a leaf shedding or the wintering off season of rubber supply, one important reason. So another reason is actually in Indonesia, even for the 30% of the Indonesia's area is in the north of the equator. That north of the equator regions in the north of the equator rubber production, it is not the off season, it is a production season. But production will be low in that region also, because Indonesia actually, there are several issues affecting the average yield of rubber trees. One major issue was the leaf disease, which has already infected nearly 0.4 million hectares of rubber trees in the country. So that is because of that yield is low. Then in the last 3 or 4 year period, the maintenance of holding was not proper. So farmers could not do proper maintenance of trees because they were resource poor, prices were not attractive. So farmers were unable to take care of the trees. That is the second factor. And also Indonesia, the age structure of rubber trees is not favorable because Indonesia has a large proportion of senile trees. Senile means low yielding and also aged trees. So because of these factors, many of the factories processing TSR processing factories are finding it difficult to source the raw material or capillum. So this is because of this reason, because of the low supply of capillum, the TSR processing factories are compelled to offer higher price to source the capillum. So after sourcing the capillum at higher prices, they have to pass on this higher cost to the prices of TSR. So at the moment, Indonesia's TSR prices is very high. Indonesia is often heard as a low-cost country for sourcing TSR. As of now, that is an old story. As of now, Indonesia TSR is in price-wise, Indonesia's TSR is highest among the major NR producing countries in Asia. That means the supply from Indonesia is low, and also because of the low availability of raw materials, the TSR factories are compelled to raise the TSR prices. So we have 4 factors which are supposed to support a rebound in rubber prices during the coming this week. But at the same time, we should not expect a major gain in prices, a substantial gain in prices. We can expect a major rebound. We can expect a rebound in prices, but gains will be limited. Reason is that last week we have seen a further resurgence of COVID cases in China. So that continued lockdown. China is still following the zero COVID policy. That means a continued lockdown means, as I mentioned before, 1/5 of China's population is under partial or full lockdown. So this is affecting whole economic activities in the country. So this continuing lockdown is prolonging the uncertainty hanging over China's economy, and China is accounting nearly 43% of the global demand for natural rubber. So whatever happening in China is crucial for global demand for natural rubber. So this is a major limiting factor. So we have a set of factors which are helping a rebound in rubber prices. At the same time, we have to take into account that the gains in prices will be limited due to the China factor, which is often referred to as the C factor. China factor will be there, so that will be a limiting factor, but still we can expect some kind of a rebound in rubber prices. That's all for this week. Thank you very much. We will see again for episode number 28. Thank you very much. See you again next week at the same time. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Jim Jacob. Okay, that's about the natural rubber market outlook. Before we move into the next session, let me briefly introduce to you a couple of upcoming rubber industry events. First, I introduced to you about the event happening in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, Rubber and Tire Vietnam 2022 during 3rd to 5th August. Please check more details about this event at this website, rubber-tire.com.vn. I'd like to introduce to you the Malaysian Expo. This is an IRICE, International Rubber Industry Convention Expo, during 6 to 8 September in Kuala Lumpur at the KLCC Convention Center. This event is organized by Malaysian Rubber Products Manufacturers Association. Now let me show you a short presentation on the IRICE. So please join the event in Malaysia during the 6 to 8 September 2022 in Kuala Lumpur at the KLCC Convention Center. Along with this IRIC, there is another event, RubberCon. It is organized by the Plastics and Rubber Institute of Malaysia, RubberCon 2022, during the same period, 6 to 8 September. It is both physical, in-person, as well as online event. It's a hybrid format event. And the focus is on the new developments in natural rubber. There are lots of good technical presentations in this event, RubberCon 2022. Please do check more details at the rubbercon2022.com and for the registration or what are the agenda of the technical program. Another event I introduced to you all to participate is IRC 2022, which will be held during the 24th to 26th November in Bangalore in India. And this IRC 2022 is organized by Indian Rubber Institute. So please check more details about irc2022.com. These are the Technobiz exhibitions which will be held next year, GRTE 5th edition during the 29th to 31st March, a must-attend event for all rubber industry professionals, and also in the 2nd edition of the Middle East Rubber Expo during the 21st to 22nd November 2023 in Sharjah, UAE. So please check and please mark your calendar with these dates about the Technobiz exhibitions. Latex industry conversation. This is a special event focusing on the latex industry. Today we will have a conversation on the latex industry opportunities and challenges with Mr. Anil Skaria. Let's get into this program. Hello everyone. Namaskar, Sawadee Krap. Welcome to the Latex Industry Conversation program, which is initiated by Technobiz. In this program, we'll be having conversation with the leading and experienced latex industry professionals to learn about developments, opportunities, and challenges in the global latex industry. Hi, my name is Peram. I'm from Technobiz. I'm hosting this program today. Today, our invited guest is Mr. Anil Skaria. He is a well-experienced latex industry professional with 34 years experience in both technical and management positions. We are very pleased to have him in this latex industry conversation program today, and we'll be having a lively conversation with him on various issues of the latex industry. So let's get started. Let's welcome Mr. Anil Skaria. Hi there, Anil sir. How are you?
Yes, good morning. How are you? Fine.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation to be part of this latex industry conversation. So I think we'll take your vision, your experience, what is going on in the industry. As I mentioned, this is going to be a lively conversation, pretty much informal, and we address various issues about the what's going on in the latex industry. So let's dive into it. Yeah, already. Yeah.
Yes, fine. Thank you to consider me as a first guest for this program or series. Thank you so much for that one.
Oh, pleasure to have you. And I know you have plenty of experience. You are also speak your mind, which makes it also easy for me to learn real things happening in the latex industry, which is very important for the people who are watching this session. Okay. So before we get into more details into our discussion today, can you talk a little bit about when did you enter into the latex industry? I know 34 years. Yeah, it's a pretty long time ago, man. Yeah. And so when did you start and how is your journey in the latex industry? Can you share some light on it, please?
Sure. I started my journey in this latex industry in very back year 1988. You know, that was the time this HIV was spreading and a lot of very much needed for this latex examination gloves. So that was the boom, real boom that time. So that is the time I was coming into this industry. So everybody around the world wanted to start this business. Maybe you know that last year, 2 years back, when it started with this COVID-19, also the same situation. So everybody wanted to put this line and making a lot of money. So I started my career in a small company in Pune, and the investors was quite nice people, and you know, at that time nobody knows how to really make a gloves or how to make a real machine, you know. So everything was starting from the scratch, and a lot of experience there. And of course I was there with that company quite a few time, maybe it was almost less than a year. Then I got a chance from you know, that time I was in India, from this Scadilla Laboratories, you know, the well-known company in India. So they wanted to start up this kind of a project. It was a greenfield project with this latex examination gloves and surgical gloves and disposable syringes and needles. So I got this opportunity. That is a big company, and I was sole responsible for this project, starting from a green project. That was a very good experience, and I still remember my project manager, Dr. Shukla. He was so kind, and as a very young man like me at the age of 22 or 23, and he was giving the full support. I still remember his words. He says always, whatever is you are achieving, you can take the full credit, and if you made any mistake, that gives to me, I will take it. that was his. And I remember that when we commissioned the line, there was a lot of issues. Even I can call him at any midnight, you know. Okay, that was the courage he given. It was a big boost for me, I would say that. I was so happy with that company. I think I was working until 1992. Then I got a offer from Thailand. Oh, I thought, why can't we try Thailand? Because a lot of rubber industry is there much more than in India. Let me try that one. So then I reached in Bangkok in January 1992. So I was in Bangkok that time. That was a baby products company which make a lot of baby teats, baby pacifiers, hotels. That was a big company and big operation. So it was again a totally new experience, new culture. I mean, the people was very much experienced people. I was the youngest guy in this department. The department itself, it is almost, I think, 80 people or 90 people. I was the youngest person in the field. So initially, it was very difficult to me to get into the system, get into the culture. I thought I will live within 1 year, because language is a big barrier, you know. So, but I got some good challenges, and I could able to make a lot of progress there. Then later it was well appreciated, and after I think 4 years, I was alone managing this full department, and I was there for 7 years. Then that time I got a call from Thai Rubber Latex Corporation. They sometime back in 97 or something, they also put up this kind of a plan, but they could not run it. So they approached me, and that was in South. So I went and saw the plant. Then I take, yes, I will take the challenge. So that is how in 1999, I moved to South. So with this Thai Rubber Latex Corporation, so this plant was not running quite some time. So we came here and started running. So we started selling this product. But after 2 years, they decided this plant to convert as a gloves plant. So for me, it was a little bit not feeling well. Then I contacted our big customer. That time it was a European company. They were the big customers. We asked them, hey, why can't you take this plant? They said, sorry, we have no experience in Asia, and we are always in Europe. We are operational in Europe. We don't want that one. So, but we are talking long. Finally, they said, let us try. And they sent some people to audit the factory. They wanted to interview the full crew, including myself and everything, back and forth, lot of discussion. Finally, they said, okay, let us try it this way. We will run this facility for 2 years. If it is everything working well, we will buy this company. So we made a deal with that time the owner of Thai Rubber. and made a deal for the 2 years contract. Then we set up a new company, and this company is take over all this facility and started running. And just make it short, within 1 year they brought everything. Okay, that was the success story. Okay, then it was again for me in my career. This was a big jump, I would say, because working with the West, Europeans, it was a totally different culture. I got full freedom. Only talking about the budget in a year, then we can run in with that with this one. And also I was reporting to that time the MD. He is not, nobody was stationed in Thailand. He comes once in 2 months, and it was a good relation with everybody, and we really made this company very well. And finally we got because of the good governance, we got the even Prime Minister's award for this company. Okay, this small company. Then finally, I would say after that last 5 years back, we opened a new factory in Prachinburi that is fully for plastic injection molding and plastic processing. And this is the South factory, it's a latex factory. So I was so proud to grow their company in Thailand. And we just celebrated our 20 years last this beginning of this month. So this was a very good success story. And in this last 20 years, I would say I could professionally move much forward, because they were offering a lot of training programs. We can always go and develop our skills, and we can learn more. And this was a very good thing. And then in between, I took a break in, I would say, in 2008 to 2010. I joined with some of my friends. We started a company, balloon manufacturing. But I was still with this company. I was with this teammate, but I was not sitting in this company, but I was mainly in this balloon factory for 2 years. That is again a greenfield project, and we set up a factory and set up the production. Then 2010 again, I due to some reasons I leave that company again, back to here on a full time. And yeah, this is my story in the latex business story, because I have experience in all kind of latex product, I would say, but like different kind of gloves, then balloons, then this latex processing, and many other latex products. And I visited a lot of latex processing factories, and even I attend all these latex conferences and seminars, and even I was 2-3 times, I think, I presented. I was a presenter for a latex gloves conference 2 times, and one of your event. So this is my total story of 34 years.
So I think most of your main career is happened in Thailand. I think the 20
yes.
I think that's big change, and also adjusting with the cultures and working with Europeans, and you got more freedom in not only just being technical, but also the whole management, establishing a company as well from the scratch, I can say, building and operating.
Yep.
So I'm pleased to know that you're also played important role establishing a new factory, and of course it's in the plastic industry for the same group. Wow. So when you look back, how you feel? Oh man, 34 years in the latex industry. What is your feeling looks like?
I'm so happy and so grateful to so many people, because I would say this is all happening not to me alone. I got a very good connection, very good contacts, the right people. I always appreciate my contacts. I have a lot of contacts with many people in the many industries. So suppose if I need something today, I'm sure I can reach someone for that. That is a, I would say, huge benefit I got it. That is one of the thing I am able to do all this kind of things.
Yeah, it's always important, of course, you're surrounded by the good people and supporting people. I think the journey will be a forward march only. And of course, there is always some stumbling blocks in between, but
Sure.
you're making the forward march. Yeah, super.
Yep.
Well, let's get into the various issues about latex industry. You mentioned that you glow and non-glow, all kinds of segments of the latex industry. Okay, first talk is COVID. So COVID, before COVID, during COVID, I don't know whether we still call it a post-COVID. I think we're still having journey. I don't know whether it's the final stages of it, or some countries, including Thailand, we still have these problems. Okay, how much change you see happen in the latex industry from before COVID to what you are now today?
I would say that at least for the latex industry, COVID was a good blessing. I would put it in that way. You know very well, people were panic, or the people were running here and there to get gloves, get one container of gloves. That was the situation in year 2020, and also part of 2021. I mean, I would say all these gloves industries made a hell lot of money out of that one. That was a big boost for the, I would say, the latex industry. But now, after this is settled down, I was always thinking this situation in early 1990s about this HIV situations. I mean, now the thing is a little bit a problem. So lot of the repetition. That is what is happening. A lot of people invested in either the expand the capacity or put up a new plant without a big plan in real planning how to market and everything. Now people are really suffering because now the price is gone down, and on top of that one, the problem now the facing is raw material price is gone up. I'm not talking about the latex alone, the auxiliary chemicals price all gone up. And in addition to this one, because the shipping cost is went to 3 times, 4 times higher. So it is really a big problem now we are facing in this industry. This is the post-COVID problems we are facing, and this shipping cost, which is skyrocketed in year 2020, still remain the same. So this is a big challenge for the industry. So now the market is for the gloves. For example, the gloves was the biggest beneficiary out of this one. So the chemical price is gone up. Of course, now the latex price is also gone up, and shipping cost is gone up. This is a big challenge for at least for the gloves industry.
And how about the demand side? It's we are in the post-COVID for many countries. I think they are opening the country. You can walk around without a mask, and they open the free travel and with less restrictions, things like that. Is the demand has changed? Yeah.
Yes, demand is dropped a lot. I mean, see, earlier, in 2000 and year 2000 and 2021, earlier of 2021, and many countries, we have to wear the gloves to go outside and everything. That all restriction is gone. Now the problem is that all the factories have a lot of stocks is lying in the factory, and they are unable to sell this one. And not even there are many factories are stopped the production. They are trying to sell all their stocks, which is piled up in their factories. This is now the situation is very tight for the gloves factories.
And are there this latex glove? Let's look at the glove industry. Are there made more investments in terms of expanding the capacities in these last 2 years?
Yes, it was a huge expansion. All the factories they expanded, and you see, if I was asking a machine manufacturer in year 2020, I need a machine line, he will say, wait for 3 years. It's fully booked. Wait for 3 years. This is what he says.
Okay. Also, but getting a new line, it takes time, right? It's not that you cannot join the market, go and buy it and install it. So
no, it altogether it takes out. It takes 8 months to commission a line. The starting you ordering, and if at least you have an infrastructure, it takes at least 8 months.
The big companies made a good investments and also the good profit margins because they have fully automated plants as compared to the
No,
among the
the gloves companies, which whoever is really stabilized companies, it is an automated process. Most of the things. I mean, the automation is there. Of course, the dipping line and everything is automated since long time back. But the packing and everything, especially for the nitrile gloves, is a fully automated line.
And how about in, of course, I think Malaysia is a major producer of the gloves, okay, and particularly the nitriles and things. Is a Thailand, how do you see, major players are Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia in terms of the gloves, right? Particularly look at the Southeast Asian market. Who really benefited out of these, 3 countries?
Of course, mainly benefited by Malaysia. Then I would say Thailand.
And the price structure is the same, or between the countries, or how do you manage that?
No, during the COVID season, yes, whatever the price you think you can quote it, but otherwise the price, I would say that Malaysia is much more competitive. Their unit cost of production is lower than Thailand because of the efficiency and because the way they are operating their plant. It is very, very cost efficient plant. In Thailand, it is far away from that one, except some companies, yes, they are doing it in that way. The Malaysian companies are doing, but if you take an overall, Thailand should go. It is a far away from, or a big gap between Malaysia and Thailand in gloves production.
Also, how about Indonesia? That's also one of the big players, and how much change is happening.
Indonesia is, of course, not like Malaysia, but I would say in between Malaysia and Thailand. I would say in that way, in between.
So let's look at the non-dip industry. I think everybody want to produce gloves rather than the non-gloves or non-dip. So how is business for the non-dip, or you can say non-gloves industry?
Actually, in my personal opinion, that is the cream of this whole business in the latex industry, because very few people are looking into that one, and there are a lot of products which is get a very good, we can say really can make money out of that kind of product.
Good margins. Yeah.
Good margin, and there is no competition in that areas, but very few people are either maybe they don't know, or they are not interested, or they don't know the real potential of that business. There are a lot of area. If I invest something, I sure only go for a non-dip product.
And what kind of products are you think that can make margins?
Yeah, see, you just take as a big heading. Let us take an product called adhesives. Okay.
Yeah.
There are a lot of adhesives, lot of varieties of adhesives. For example, in the medical grade, food grade, and if you see the industrial in the industrial sector, there are a lot of varieties are available. And here there is this latex natural rubber is a big potential, and it is not really used in that way because of the so many reasons. So if somebody really focus on this area, lot of synthetic material is used in this industry can replace which natural rubber latex, and it is a very good area to be focused. That is one. Second thing is a coating. That is also maybe we can link with the adhesives. There are a lot of coatings latex is using in the coating industry. Maybe many of us don't know about that. One is this food industry coating. For example, one is the classic example is the chocolate packaging coating. Many people don't know there is the latex coating. There is a latex coating, and it needed a special kind of latex. This is a good industry. I mean, many countries still importing. Okay, they are not. For example, in Thailand, we are producing a lot of latex, but the major bigger players in this industry, the chocolate industry, They are using imported material for that one. So these are really a good area. Then another good thing is, non-dipped latex. It is the latex is at present is consumed a lot is latex thread. You know, it is using for the elastic thread. This is also a, of course, this is, maybe after the dipped products, the non-dipped products, the most latex use this, I think, in the latex thread industry. This is also a good industry. Another good potential is in the future is for the matrices from the latex, from the natural latex, because you know in especially in Europe and US there are a lot of activists coming up the natural product, and there are a lot of potential for this product, for these mattresses and pillows and all these things. This is the, I think these are the focus will be in the future than the dipped products. This is my thinking. Okay.
So you try to say that when a health scare is there or health emergency is there, and the glove industry, it's a really good timing. But it's is the glove companies also invested in the non-dip industry as well, or only they're just doing the gloves? What is your
no? Mainly the gloves people mainly focus in the gloves, and they are that kind of diversification is very less in this industry. If somebody is using something, they are concentrated on that one, you know. But when we talk about this one, I mean the dipped industry versus non-dipped industries, the dipped industry also, I picturize like this way. You maybe we can compare this two companies, put it in this way. One, you put it like I just call it as Sindhamar. You know, they are the biggest nitrile rubber latex producers. Next, you take it as natural rubber. I would put this a natural rubber industry. This is owned by a single person or a single owner. You know, if you compare this way, you can see the difference. For example, 20 years back, when this nitrile latex they developed for the latex, it was a horrible material. Now they are keep on upgrading this product, how much thin product they can make, and what is the not leach surfactant free or accelerator free. They come up with a lot products. But what about the natural industry? This is still we offer two latex, high ammonia latex and low ammonia latex, and somebody makes some deproteinized latex or something. That's it. See, this is where a big shift has to happen. How to happen is a big question. I put it, I always vision like this way, at least since I'm in Thailand, I would say in this way. Thailand should have a natural rubber development company. I would put it as a company. That is a company. Okay. So they are focusing only this kind of things, which where this natural rubber latex can be used. Because otherwise nobody is interested. If I am in a particular industry, I'm only interested about my product and how I can develop. Somebody else is talking about for the gloves, or only for the gloves industry. As if I am an investor in the gloves industry, I don't care I make nitrile or latex. I care how much money I can make. If I can make more with the nitrile latex, I only interested in the nitrile latex. I don't care about the natural latex. There has to be a shift to be happened in this area. This shift can happen only, I believe, as I said, maybe a natural NR development company, Thailand Limited, for example. It consists of technical people, industry people, and these researchers. Come, put them in a group and find the replacement for the synthetic latex to the natural latex, and the new products what we can make from this latex, and try it, not making on a paper, but small scale make it, then deliver to the industry. Then that is a big boost to this one. This is a big potential for that one. So consider this as a company who is developing and come up with the product for the finding out the niche market, develop the product and come out with this one. Then, I mean, this is a big scope for that one.
Yeah, I think you rightly pointed out that uh, synthetic latex made a big movements in terms of product development itself to meet all kinds of application, requirements. But whereas natural rubber latex, so we still stuck with HA ammonia, HA latex, LA latex, or pre-vulcanized latex, or DPNR. That's we stuck there and not moved further. As you put it right way. I think it's important also the researchers should actively involve in this, developing the latex properties. And of course, there is a solid rubber. There are a lot of work is going on, but on the latex side, for industrial point of, there's always the developers of products, but at the end of the day, it's all important that industry utilize it. Whether can we take our own market. And even the COVID, if you talk about COVID, the latex industry, it's beneficial for the synthetic latex gloves rather than the natural rubber latex gloves. So, but being a major producer like Thailand, Malaysia, I think Malaysia, they are more into the synthetic latex rather than natural latex anyway. But Thailand, Indonesia, or in other countries like Vietnam and India should take an active role too. So,
to that one, I just give two examples. One is, see, the synthetic latex, when they started the production in 20 years back, they were also making 6 gram gloves, 6 or 6.5 gram gloves. Now they are able to make a 2.9 to 3 gram gloves. Okay, but latex remains same, 5.5 gram, I think minimum able to make it. So why can't somebody really research on that one, how we can make a thin gloves? Maybe I'm not talking about 3 gram, at least 4 grams. So this is a big boost for this industry. As I said, maybe the gloves manufacturers are not interested to look into that one because they can make money with the nitrile latex, which of course their margin is much higher, so they may be not interested. Another one big thing is also a lot of work done in the past is latex master batch. I mean, mixing with the silica or carbon black in the latex and make this is a beautiful product for this dry rubber, especially for the tire industry. I don't know how many years this research is going on, but unfortunately nothing is able, nobody can use that technology. Either the cost is very high or whatever the technology developed later stage, it is not working. So these are the things is a very good, I would say a big gem in this industry, So that all the areas to be worked out, and especially I would say Thailand and Indonesia should jointly work together this kind of really a big projects.
Yeah, and actually, I also want to touch that one in our discussion today on the master batch. I think as I know, I've seen since I came to Thailand, this research is going on for more than 25 years, and a good research has been done. I am still unsure how many people are utilizing really, particularly the carbon black master batch.
Yeah, but I think the best thing is, I think as far as I know by literature, I saw the good thing or good development it was, I think the Cabot Corporation in US.
Yeah.
They have a patented technology, they have a patented technology for this one. And I don't know why again it is not consumed or used by maybe of higher cost, but at least they developed a system which is, see this as far as I know that the thing is that it is not a problem to mixing anything with the latex, but after the mixing, how you coagulate, how you dry it fast without losing the properties of the rubber, that is where the problems, the whatever the so-called R&D or development research did is they were able to mix it properly, but it is not getting the right property when it is made a block rubber, So that area, I think this Cabot is developed a technology or something, but if Cabot can develop a technology, why somebody else cannot do it? I mean, this could be a big boost in this industry.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit into the technology aspects. I always wonder, latex industry, not much change in the technology other than automation. What I hear, okay, little changes in the materials. Okay, of course, you're talking about synthetic latex. Yes, okay, there is a huge change, huge developments on the material aspects of it. In your experience, tell me about what real changes happen in technology, whether it is materials or whether it is machine wise.
Let me share my experience. This is a real experience. I came to your, as I mentioned, in 2011, in your latex technology. I forgot the name of the conference.
Latex Asia. Latex Asia.
Latex Asia. So I made I was a speaker and I made a presentation with my problems. Right. So what I was projecting that there was, sorry, see, look at my industry, which is a baby products industry. We used to make 2.5 million baby pacifiers per month when we started this plant in year 2002. But after 10 years, that is reduced to less than 1 million, because this everything taken over by silicon teeth, silicon pacifiers. Right. And if you look at the properties of this product, it is entirely different. No other material can meet this our latex products properties, especially the bite resistance. Bite resistance means when the baby, maybe a 2-year or 3-year-old baby, take this pacifiers in their mouth, when the teeth is sharp, it is some cut, then this immediately it become a 2-part if it is used a silicon one. But if it is used a natural rubber product, because of this beauty of this product, it is not damaging like that. But only the reason was the parents, the new parents, young parents, they go and buy this one. When they say this in the shelf, oh, this is a very clear product. Silicon is a very clear product. They think this is more hygienic product than a dull product of a natural one, only because of the color difference. Only because of the color difference. This is how that market trend is gone. Yes. And now, as I said, initially 70% market was from the latex products. Now the situation is that it come down to 30% and 70% taken over by silicon. And we know there are a lot of complaints is coming from the market by use the silicon one. It is broken in the mouth while using, and lot of things. And this is where I came to that when I thought, let me open up and say our problems. We need some help, And maybe I can just recall one gentleman stood up and say, "Don't waste your time." You cannot make a latex product like a silicon one. Don't waste your time. I take it, okay, so no problem. But I approach so many people, so many researchers. I'm telling you, it took almost a 10-year journey, but we achieved now. Okay. We achieved that our goal. I mean, whenever I met anyone, everybody said this is not possible. But it took long time. It is a long time and money. But now we are launching this product. Our first, just telling you the first version of the product very close to silicon, and our next generation will be like a silicon one. So what I wanted to say, it was a long journey, and if somebody take a real initiative, it is possible. So that is, I'm just telling the technology. See, there is in the latex industry also, we have all the resources. You connect the dots, you are able to make it. Very simple. But that is why I'm telling, we should have a natural rubber development corporation or company in Thailand, so we can make it. It is possible. It is really possible.
But sometimes the perception is a reality. You're breaking the bonds. Yeah, people appearance. It does not matter what is inside, how it is made. It's more about that. How appearance makes a difference. That's also one of the. Even if you look at the foam industry, latex foam industry, I think the big challenge now competition is polyurethane. Okay, for
Yes.
the, and I think this there is also, you had to work on the educating, you also work on the, beating the, see, it's not a beating, but keeping your own markets, and
Yep.
so that's what, how is the foam industry now in Thailand or in other parts of the world?
Yeah, again, foam industry. My thought is that this will boom. I mean, see, now more and more people not at least in Asia, in Europe and the Western countries, they need the natural material. And see, we have to tell the stories in a right way. I mean, for example, again I can share one of the other experience we are doing is to promote this our product. We also got this fair trade certifications. I mean, this is also not only just for the good stories. We really take care about the people around our factory. So first I thought first I was looking for the FSC certification. So finally I found it is just impossible to make it here. Then we talked to the local small holders. We asked them to make a small cooperative society. Then we approached this fair trade association. So they came and finally they approved. They got the approval and everything. So finally we are paying for that one. 0.5 0.5 euro per 100 kilo dry rubber. If you convert into the for the small holders, they get, when they are selling latex for us, they get a premium of 5 baht for latex per kilo. Okay, this is. I mean, when we are doing this kind of things, of course we are doing a good favor to the local people. Plus also we are giving a good story to the market, and this is very well suited with the end consumers. Because this is lot of potential. We are getting lot of stories going behind this kind of product in natural rubber, but this fair red or FSC, this one. This is a good thing for the natural rubber mattresses, and I'm sure this. For example, Sri Lanka is doing this is a very good job on this one, and I think in Indonesia also one company is in this way. I think more and more companies are coming up this kind of things. I think this will be a big boost in the near future for this foam industry.
Let's a little move into the quality. I think you are the master of the quality. I read so many articles that you wrote for the Rubber Asia magazine. I don't know how many parts you wrote on quality.
I think more than 20.
Yeah, something like 20, that. Yeah. So, can you talk about quality issues involved with the latex products? In terms of standards wise or regulations wise, how is the situation of the quality of the latex products?
Yeah, basically, I mean, when we talk about the quality, we have to see from the raw material to the final product and all kind of certifications and all this stuff. Basic thing is, unfortunately, many of the companies, they don't follow a good system. That is why all these problems happen. See, one problem with this latex industry is the raw material you are getting is always changing. It is not the same. Even though we can check the parameters, what is the dry rubber content, what is the BFA, and what is the MSD, you get a good figures, nice figures. But when you processing that latex, you get a totally different result. So it is very difficult to, most of the time it's very difficult to predict how this latex will process. So then we have to go one more step behind. We have to very closely work with this latex centrifuging factories, how they process. Again, we go back how they are collecting the latex. This is a big change. If you are not really attacking on all this system, and once you really work very well with your latex suppliers, you make a very good system, then you use this latex, then at least you are 50% of the problem solved, at least in the processing stage. So that is the first stage. Then the problem normally happens is once you have a system, developed a system, then after some time people not really going to the one. They are not checking. Initially, they were checking maybe 10 parameters, reducing the people. They are cutting down to 5, or this during the course of the production or for the course of the time, many things are is omitting, is deleting, or the experienced people leaving the company, then again go back to the system. Again, they start the same thing. So this is in most of the latex industry, you can see this cycle is keep on repeating every 5 years, So not able to maintain a good system which is developed with a lot of efforts. It is not maintaining that system. When there is a lack in that system, there is always a problem. This is causing more scrap, then inferior products. It is going to the market. That is one thing. Second thing is another one real challenge is a real challenge, especially in our industry. We know when we give a baby pacifier or baby bottle teats, we always say this is comply with all the European or American standards. So if you go into the deep into the standards, it very clearly says all the raw material which you are using, it must be listed in their European Union listing and everything. But many people don't care about that one. But as a policy of in our company, if you are putting any chemicals inside this product, it is all will be listed from this European guideline. It says if it is an accelerator, what accelerator we can use it. If it is an antioxidant, what antioxidant we can use it. If it's a stabilizer, what stabilizer we can use it. This is a big requirement. But many people in this industry, for example, if you take a baby teats from our competitor, I can say I know what they are putting it. They don't even know about, or they don't care about this kind of requirement from the regulations, because the chemicals cost maybe 10% or 20% higher than other chemical which is available. So this is if for example a real audit is happening with the consumer to this industry, that industry, if they found out it is not followed as per this one, this is a big problem. This is a big question mark for the whole industry and all this latex based product on that one. So this is, I mean compliance to the real regulations is very much important. This in the gloves industry also it is, but I don't know how many people. You take balloon industry, you take any of this industry, there is if it is comply with a particular regulation, it is not just meeting the physical parameters or just meet the chemical need. Moreover, that whatever you are putting it has to meet that regulations. So this is a big subject, and we can talk long hours. But this is an important that if people are cutting some steps, this could be a big problem in the future.
Yeah, this quality. I think that we heard a lot of stories about quality issues recently during the COVID times, and all the fake products, and some people recycle this and repack it again and things like that. How is situation, how to manage, if you are a manufacturer, suppose you have everybody got some branding for it and a lot of big players are there, but they still suffer with these fake products and poor quality products. But everybody needs it. The hospital are asking for it. Some hospitals, there is a problem with the supply. The government is taking over in particular in the US, as you know, the state or whatever the states or responsible organizations control the whole supply of it and unable to supply to the individual hospital. So whatever is coming in, they're just taking it. That's very dangerous. And how do you see the situation on this?
Yeah, this is, I would say that how strictly implement this law by the government. You just see that what happened last year with the US. I mean, the big companies from US, from Malaysia, they sent the gloves to US, all came back because of some reason. So if the particular, all the countries not giving that kind of strict rules, this is happening. I mean, I'm not naming the countries, many countries, they get the very rejected gloves from these big manufacturers. They take it to their countries and distributing everywhere. So that kind of malpractice has to be fixed by the government level. That strict implementation, then only this can happen. Otherwise, individual companies or people cannot do that one. This is a strict law should be implemented on that one. Then only this will happen.
And it's very dangerous, particularly when you're using healthcare workers, they use it for, so it's it can create a big crisis if quality of the gloves or other related medical devices,
If you remember that you also read the newspaper stories that the used gloves washed and packing and selling, you see. So there has to be a rule from the government level. Any used gloves should not be put outside or something. It has to be destroyed from that point. Unless and until if there is no law like that, this kind of malpractice will keep on happening,
And it's not good for the industry. So you
Yes.
can't believe which one is the right one. People always go to the market. Okay, what is on the shelf? They try to buy it, whichever the cheapest or whichever. How many pairs are there in that box and what is the price, and they purchase it. I think that's okay. Particularly when you're talking about health purposes, okay, if you are in the industrial goes, is a different story. Yeah, industrial applications, electrical application that still requires, but particularly the medical, examination gloves, they really have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering, actually the allergy issues. I still a concern for this latex, guys. Natural latex. I don't know. History for me is like my entry into the latex is almost 23 years, 24 years ago. At that time, we were talking about allergy, and I still read recently also some in US, some they banning the latex gloves and things like that. Is it really concern, man? Is a allergy
No,
an issue?
This was a concern in early 90s because, as I mentioned earlier, it was because of the HIV. Everybody started the gloves production. They all they don't know. I mean, that time there was not a real technology. Everybody making the gloves. There was no leaching. There was no proper drying. So this is the time it was started, this kind of allergy. But now the technology is so improved, so new technology. And even you take any gloves, it's a normal person is not getting any kind of allergy issue. But people are allergic to many things. Somebody is allergic to peanuts, somebody allergic to coffee. That person use a gloves, suppose he will get a allergy. But other than that, a normal person can we can use a gloves, natural latex gloves. It will not cause any kind of allergy issue at all. But I also read that article in the US. Some states they banned the gloves. This is really a political thing, and I also think that because in US now a lot of new manufacturing companies are coming up with the synthetic gloves, so maybe they wanted to promote them. But but for that one, they should not label this is an issue of the protein allergic issue. This is no more a truth.
It's more of propaganda to kill other market. So I say I think natural rubber latex gloves are safe to use, and well, I think as you rightly mentioned, if you are a sensitive person or sensitive skin, yes, you are exposed. Anything can be cause trouble to you. But I think the technology has evolved itself a long time ago. They are safe to use. Okay, so. And how is the situation? Okay, because when talk about allergy, and this DPNR came in, okay, and deproteinized also. So, how is the market now? Is it increasing the DPNR?
Yeah, this is again a very small market for the DPNR because of the cost. The acceptance is not very good in this one. The thing is that the existing if you are using an existing latex and if you have a good production technology, you are able to produce the gloves or any products with the accepted level of all these proteins. So and the advantage of DPNR is if you are getting an DPNR latex, you can reduce your processing steps in the manufacturing line. But you have to see which one is the cost-wise, is it really workable or not? That is the thing. But I do believe that Y-Star is doing a lot of promotion of this material, and they have tie-up with many factories. I think they basically mainly in these foam industries. They are coming up. I think there will be a market for that kind of latex, sure.
But as you know, in Thailand itself, we have 50, 60 concentrate latex factories. Other than more than that, yeah. I think most of them they produce the high ammonia latex or low ammonia concentrate latex. For them to invest to produce DPNR, how much change has to do? Is it
they don't need change much. Their process is almost same. Only a little bit modification has to be made in the process. But they are not producing because they think there is no market for that one. If they know there is a market, sure they will produce. It should come from their customers. You know, if the customer is asking, they will go beyond that one. But now nobody is asking, and if there is no required market, why I should spend my money and time for this new technology?
But you get a premium price, I think, for the DPNR.
Yes, you get a premium price. Yes.
Yeah. Let's look at it in the concentrate latex factories. Are they, other than just producing concentrate latex, what else they can do? Okay, they have skin blocks, and that was my first experience in the latex industry long time ago. I still see the same machines, the same centrifuge machines. Okay, probably they are more efficient, or with and also not so many players, and even that the latex machines, the centrifuge machines. What kind of advancements happening or changes can happen, in the concentrate latex?
Again, I think, and again, my thinking is they can do a lot of changes there. First thing is everybody use mainly high ammonia latex, and now the technology is available. We can make an totally ammonia free latex. This take away a lot of the headache in the factory. Lot of headaches. Second thing is the way they are making this skim rubber out of this skim latex is very an old technology. They are using a lot of acid. This is really killing the environment. This is again, there are a lot of technologies available to adopt that technology. Then they can make a better creep skim rubber, and also it is not damaging the pollute the area. And another thing is, I still don't know why it is not tapping this. You are also in the wastewater system. Why this? Because they have a lot of huge area of wastewater treatment plant. It has got a lot of very high BOD and very high BOD. Why can't this is convert as another energy to use in their factory? This is a big potential. So these three things, I think there's a concentrated latex factories can look into that one. They can make a big changes here.
Well, the ammonia is cheaper, sulfuric acid cheaper, coagulation purpose in the skin blocks, ammonia preservative. And when it comes to the wastewater side, what I experienced, of course, my project at the time was smell problems. The factories were closed. I was associated with so many companies. If you look at rainy days or in the evenings, you feel terrible, man. I lived in that plant for many years and trying to figure it out. And the thing, I think cost matters. Okay, the chemicals they use, of course, there you can talk about formic acid, you can talk about other, but in the value you get out of the skin block is less when you compare whether it is CV or other rubbers. Yeah, but there are studies being done, answers being tried to get answers. It's always a change. But I always think that the concentrate latex people could do more in adding byproducts, not just only on the raw material, You mentioned about latex adhesives, extension, plant extension, or the coatings, or some other products would be really, so they don't need to worry about how is market fluctuation of the prices. Again, they sell, the latex based on the prices. The way you buy from the farmers, otherwise they stock in there in huge tanks for many months, waiting for the right time to sell the latex. So I always think that latex concentratex manufacturer should look beyond just a concentratex manufacturers. Add some more. You don't need to make a big plant of foam manufacturing or whether it is globe manufacturing, but there are some other small byproducts could be produced. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yes, you are rightly pointed out. There are a lot of just you said this when you talk about the adhesive, there are how many tons of latex used for the adhesives. This they can make it. Again, they can go into the very profitable areas of that business. They can go in. For example, just giving an example, we all know this cans for beer or for the Coke or everything. All they are using a latex adhesive inside. All these cans. This is not a big technology. This can be, of course, there is some technology, but this can be done by these factories, these latex factories, because they don't need much investment. There is a tank and some other chemicals. They can make it. Then coming to same ways, some different grades of adhesive, this they can make in their factories. And another thing they can do is, earlier some factories were doing, so they are selling this latex to this, for example, a gloves manufacturer. This latex reach their facility, then they do the compounding, then they use it. Why they can do in their tank? As soon as they centrifuge the latex, they have these tanks. Maybe this facility they can use as a compounding tank for their one. This is one they can supply it. So there are a lot of things they can reduce there. They can do it integrated with their supplier. But I mean, it's all has to be a talk with this latex factories and if somebody can offer to if I am a gloves manufacturer, if somebody offering me, I will take it. But I will make a control over the process. But I don't need to do a lot of things in house, because you are again, you see, I'm transferring latex from here to a container. Then it is going all the way to a factory. There they are pumping. There is a loss. Then there they are pumping 100 times. This all they can reduce because they don't need to store that latex in their facility at all. They make a compound here.
Yes, very much true. It saves a lot of cost, storage, energy,
Yes.
time, manpower.
Yeah.
And basically the concentratex people, they can make this compound itself and supply the. I think whatever the just like a solid rubber compound. This customer, this is a formulation required, and
yes.
you can develop and one you produce it. So yeah, I think they should look and explore that. Well, it's nice. If you give us more input on the concentrated, because that is my entry to the latex, rubber industry.
I see.
Constantly, that's very much attached to it. I lived there, and so I will pass this information, see whatever possible they can do. I think they know a lot, but the problem with a lot of rubber industry is access to the right information. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody, and
Yes.
but the access to the right information, and everybody says I'm helping you, I'm helping there, but it's not just in one country. I'm looking at it. Technology itself is 17 years. As you know, we try to give provide a platform to share the information. It's not easy task. Still struggling. I'm thankful, these platforms make at least have a conversation, not make it too much a detailed, information, but at least give an idea so that you can take it forward. But the rubber industry is a conservative industry, but well connected, but difficult to get right information. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Okay, one issue I like to touch is that recycling. Okay,
Yep.
so much, whether it is condoms, whether you talk about the gloves, particularly what you see, even the foams, mattresses, and pillows. One area, I think you also have developed a solution for the recycling of the latex products. So can you talk about your experience, how you're doing on that business, and what kind of services you are providing on this latex recycling of the latex products?
Yeah, actually, this was again a good project with some of my friends. We were started this one, and the challenge was came to click to me is that people said now everybody make nitrile gloves, and this scrap gloves nobody wanted to buy. Only they take the latex gloves scrap. Nobody wants this nitrile gloves. So what to do? That is the first time I got this idea. There is a problem like that. So then we made some lot of work here and there. Be able to not don't call it as a reclaim. We call it as a devulcanized NBR. Be able to make this one, and we started a plant in near Bangkok, which we do this devulcanization of NBR gloves, and also we do the latex gloves. So what the technology or process we are using, we can say this our either latex devulc product or NBR reprocessed one is a better quality than whatever this reclaimed rubber which is available in the market. So we are expanding that market.
So you're sourcing all the gloves, used gloves?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
no, we only buy the gloves from the factories.
Okay.
From the factories, not the used one. No.
Okay, those are scraps. The defected ones. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I see. How is the market for you? Doing well?
It's a good market. It's a good market.
Okay, very good. I'll get to know a little more about. See, you are 34 years in the latex industry, and talking about upstream and downstream both sides. What are the things that you suggest in do's and don'ts? Hey, don't do this, man. Do this way, so that you can produce quality products or cost effective. Where these latex industry guys do mistakes?
First of all, the mistake they are doing is they are not opening up. First of all, say what information I am having, keeping with myself, not sharing with anybody else, because if you meet 10 people in the latex industry, that 10 people got unique experience. If that can combine somehow, this will be a big boost for the industry and big boost for the industry. This I am talking from my own experience, which I told you. It took 10 years to develop this product. This is basically it was connecting the dot. He knows something, but he never know how he can apply in this industry. He knows something, he doesn't know how to apply this. Just connecting the dot, we get a beautiful product. This is a real example. That is one thing. Second thing is, take any industry, they are not thinking beyond today. So for example, the best experience is the latex concentrator factory. You go all these factories, everybody does the same thing. They are not even thinking how to do a better version of this one. No discussion. They say, hey, what is the latex price today? How we can get a better price? This is what how I run the business today. That how I run the business after 10 years, very few people are looking into that one. This is especially this should look into this owners of this business. But unfortunately, they are getting into the day-to-day business 100%. Fully, they are getting into their daily business. They don't even have the time to think about the future. So this is the real lack in this industry. But you know very well, in this latex industry, basically people came in the industry as a small startup and they grow on, and they are somehow lacking that area. And their next generation may be not interested in this business at all. They are going into somewhere. So they need really a professional guidance to these people to see, look beyond that what they are doing it now. Then only they can grow.
But there are associations there. You have everywhere there is some latex association or glove associations. I think they do have regular meetings. I know they have a lot of dinners there, so I'm not sure that how much technical input being shared among each other.
I think that is a good example what we can get learn from Malaysians. See, they have a glove magma association. See, they are very strong, and that is one of the reason that industry is still growing in Malaysia. This is a real example. We and all the other countries should take from that one. They should follow them, learn how they are going with their association. You can learn a lot. You talk about the technology, you can learn from them, management, raw material, and government regulations, everything. So there has to be. This is a good example. Everybody can learn from them.
Yeah, there is a very strong association. I think they have a biannual meeting. I'll be joining that, the Glow conference, probably the Glow event. I can say, I don't see any other events happening in other parts of the world, so and a lot of technical info there, and I think that they are very dynamic.
Very dynamic.
I think all other associations, other parts of the world, they should look at that as one of the benchmark to consider. Let's look at research side. You talked about it already. What areas to develop with much more thinner film of gloves and things. What else areas? Of course, glow adhesives. You talked about it. There is a development that you can make on the research point of view also. And is there any other area that researchers should look at to work on latex industry?
Yeah, sure. Just look into the people say what is not good about the latex. Okay, they say first. I mean, one thing they say, this is not very good weather resistance compared to the synthetic. They say this is not a good weather resistance. This is one area. I mean, researchers can do it. And another area which I would say that somebody really look into this master batch of latex. This could be another thing. And third, I would say this: how to make a thin latex gloves. So, if you are doing, somebody really focus on these three things, this will be a big jump to this industry. No need to do 100 things.
Yeah. You're providing real solutions for them to expand the market and also stay in the market, not beating other players, but more of sustain yourself. Otherwise the synthetic latex keep on improving their product line, and
another example is, see, in the road construction, this is mainly used by synthetic rubber. This is some technological advance in this product. We can use in this in everywhere. You just see how much the consumption is going up. Again, there are a lot of works. I mean, I don't say a lot of work. Maybe a lot of work done, but not 100% replacement. This is possible.
I think that's you have to engage the researchers actively with industry and brainstorming that solutions, give them more freedom, more resources, rather than just publishing the papers on something. You can. I would try to say real solutions to the problems that we have. So
and also one more important is all these areas. Some people did some work in the past. We should reconnect them with this new generations, because what they did that time, there are a lot of limitations that time. See, the data are not available. There was no internet that time. This like this today. So now one click you get everything. So include them with these people. You get a lot of the work input what they did in the past. From there, they can start something new. They don't need to invent everything from the zero.
Actually, this is something we are planning to do. It's
great.
Technobiz digital library. I'm trying to collect all the and all the research happening, what are the, put in a nice format, so that industry also access to the, every industry also trying to develop, they want to be innovative. Sometimes they do the repetitive work and also they don't know where to start, and you need to have a good literature survey. I'm hoping that before GRTE for the next March, come up with a proper, at least some step forward. I don't want to say perfect solution, but bringing all the research developments happening, papers, and put them together, and also searchable way and a subscription-based style, that a kind of digital library. Because technology, I think the COVID, one good advantage of COVID is that we are really, we are really forced to utilizing the technology in faster manner. I think that's it.
Yeah, so, that will be great. That will be great.
I see that. I see that there's still that gap is there, and nobody taking step forward. Probably, I try to give a shot about it. Let's hope something comes out of it before the GRT next year. It's in the work in progress on it, I can say.
Very good, very good, very good initiative.
Yeah. So, how do you see the future of latex industry?
Yeah, the future of the latex industry is. If I ask me, if somebody is not really focusing on these areas, it is really a difficult for the latex industry. Really difficult, because you just take examples. Gloves, examination gloves industry, it is already going towards nitrile gloves. Now the same trend is coming into the condom industry. So this is now the nitrile, they already developed the condoms which is thinner than the latex condom. So this will be a big change in that in the condom industry. So I mean, if you are not doing something in the latex industry, I mean, as I mentioned, NR development company or something, if you are not doing what the synthetic synthemers or synthetic nitrile glove nitrile latex manufacturers are doing, we are in a problem.
So the natural rubber latex, people had to work, to improve their product line, rather than just keeping it stagnant there in one place. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I understand that you also offer consulting services for the latex industries.
Yep.
Can you talk about your, your consulting services, so that anybody watching, if they are looking for some assistance from you troubleshooting the problems? Okay, so everybody knows that COVID brought out a lot of glove manufacturing. Everybody wanted their own manufacturing facilities. It's not that easy. If it looks easy, but it's not as easy done, right? So yeah, talk about your consulting services.
Yeah, last 34 years, I got a lot of experience especially in the latex industry. I mean, latex processing or process or quality system. So I am happy to share with the needed people. See, I'm not calling myself as a big consultant and going selling my product. No, if somebody is interested in something, I am basically more happy to share my knowledge with the people who is really interested. This is because I always say that I always like to help the people whichever the way I can do that, either by using my technology or whatever the knowledge or wisdom which I got it, or my time or something. So this is why I consulting also a part of that one. So if anybody wanted to get some more expertise, which I know, I will say what are the area which I can help. I'm ready to help, and I give any kind of consultancy in this industry.
Super. So, guys, if anybody interested in whether it's troubleshooting or product development, or or selection of the materials, you name it, all kinds of, I think, not only you, I think probably maybe probably group of experts around along with you probably can help this consulting service. So if somebody is entering, a young guy and working in the latex industry, what do you advise for them to excel in their work, so that they stay? so to stay, you know, it's always difficult to find young people, good working and interest in the latex and are interested in the rubber industry. You know, so what is your advice for young people?
I would say be a continuous learner. Learn from the people. Suppose if you are new to this latex industry, when you go to a company, learn from the experienced people, talk to them. Nobody will come and teach you. You have to talk. You have to find your own timing. I mean, you have to maybe work more than 8 hours and go behind these people, get their knowledge. That is one thing. Second thing is you read a lot of books and research papers. There are a lot of research papers available in the one, and you have the time. You try to apply that one. What they are telling is maybe a small scale. You can try. I mean, this is all you can do after your 8 hours work in the company, maybe in the laboratory. You can try to do something and see what. I mean, you should not focus so many things. You should maybe initially focus a particular area. For example, if you are working in a gloves factory, suppose you want, hey, I want to make a thin gloves. Hey, then you a little bit focus on that area. Then you do some trial. This is how we should go. Or if you are doing in a latex compounding, let us see how we can make a better compound with some alternative chemicals, get a better properties, or using less chemical, getting the same kind of properties. This kind of to focus one area and get into deep, talk to the experienced people, get right connection in the industry, lead a lot of research papers. Then you focus, then you will find some kind of learning, and you can benefit it out of that one.
So keep learning and focus. Okay,
yes,
don't learn
yes.
too many things at the same time, but keep learning at the same time, the focus, and so then only you can excel, and you also see the progress of your career growth, and also you enjoy your developments on your work as well. Finally, I'd like to ask you, this is nothing to do with the latex. I understand that you are a certified life coach. Okay, particularly I want to understand what is this a life coach means, and what kind of role or what kind of services you offer.
Yeah, this is you heard about a sports coach,
Right.
A coach. If you are going for a marathon, or if you're a boxing, you need a coach. Or if you you go for a gym, you need a coach. For what? He will give you the right guidance.
Right.
Okay, how much weight you should take, or how many minutes you should run, and everything. A coach will tell you. This is the same thing is happening in our life. We came across with maybe I tell say the 55 years of my age. I'm 55. Okay, so what I learned from my parents, what I learned from my colleagues, what I learned from the other people, I am applying it. Okay, many things I don't know is right, or if I have some problem, out of my experience, I take a solution and apply it. So maybe that is not the right one. There may be moreover that there may be some other options. So as a life coach, when we talk to the people, try to understand. See, many times what happens is we have a lot of things to talk, but really nobody is listening. Okay, everybody is their own agenda. Yes. Listening in the sake of listening. Listening in the sake of listening. Okay. Yes. So the main important objective of a coach is he should be a good listener. So if somebody is coming with a problem, listen as a really an empathetic listener. You see his point of view and listen him, and try to guide him based on his issues. Maybe he is only looking at one side of the issue. He's not looking the other side of the issue. The coach is really showing to him that there is a other side of this issue, and this coach never tell him that you should do this way. That is people think that you go to a coach will tell you everything you do. Never. The coach will never tell you what you should do. Coach will try to take this answer from him, the coach. By asking the right question, finally the coach will say, yes, I should do this, that one. Then make it accountable for him for that job. he said in with the session, finally the coach is trying to say is all this problem, then is asking the right questions. He's getting some insight, some insight he is getting. Then he himself is coming with some solutions. Maybe I should do this. Then make it accountable for him. Yes, let us meet maybe after 2 weeks. Let us see what you are going to do this 2 weeks. Let us talk about the progress. This is how a coach is really going along with the coaching.
Wow, I think it's a role of psychiatrist. Okay, but you can use it a lot in your own company as well, and it's not pointing them, as you rightly mentioned, don't do this is right or wrong, but you analyzing the situation, his point of view, and you are helping them asking the right questions so that they can find these answers by himself, so that there is a lot of self-realization. I think that's what, is it correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That is why I decided to go for this one. It was a long process. It took almost 5 months. This one, and we get a different view when we talk to the people. That is, I would say that this is for me, for my self coaching, not take as a profession and do it's a coaching. But if somebody is interested, of course I help them. But mainly it was for me. I can use it myself so that I can use it the people I am interacting with the people. That was the main purpose of that.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so you are a certified life coach. I'm sure that many of your team members, I think you can excel in their, not only this professional life, but also in their personal growth. I think this is very, very important. And I think the COVID, COVID change you that, or is it during the COVID times, or?
It was started in the COVID time. Yes.
Yeah. I think we have learned a lot of important lessons about life during the COVID times.
Yes.
I think.
Yes, yeah, it teaches a lot.
Yeah, it taught us a lot. Yeah. So, Anil sir, thank you very much. It's really good. So, any final message before I end this session today?
Yeah, two things. First of all, thank you your time, and it was really a good discussion. And I would say that if somebody, especially the young generation, if they are listening this one, they should take it something from this and they should use it. Otherwise, it's no point to listening this kind of a conversation, because since you asked me a lot of things, I could experience. I could share my experience. Okay, or my real life experience related with this latex industry. So as I said, because I focus couple of areas, I could do couple of good result in this industry. And I want, especially the young generation, should really focus in this kind of things so they can show miracles.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you once again for being part of this session. You rightly mentioned about if young people, listen to it or watch this session and take one, some takeaways and change their practices. Even one person make a change, I'm happy. My point is always one person feel that yes, okay, the always start with from 0 to 1. So let's go with the 1. I'm sure that using the techno-based platforms, we can reach out to the many younger and maybe the industries itself, and they pass on to their own team members. So, but it is a very interesting and informative session. A lot of takeaways. I have really enjoyed. I'd like to continue discussion longer. Of course, we can look for other opportunity in other occasion. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Kapun kap.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, that's the end of the conversation on latex industry, opportunities and challenges with Mr. Anil Skaria. I'm really hoping that you find this session useful. And you can always check this session again on YouTube at Technology channel. Not only this today's episode, but also on all the past episodes. You can watch them at the Technology channel. See you in the next episode. Thank you all for joining. Bye bye for now.